Hello and good evening. Today I want to talk about a variety of things. This will probably be my first video like this. This is surely my opinion, so take this as you will. Um, this isn't meant to create any issue of any sort. This is more so to hopefully resolve any issues surrounding the things I'll probably talk about. I'd like to start out with the statement, life is not fair. Really, in some ways, I don't disagree with that. In other ways, I do disagree. Life, in short, is like a fight, not to put it melodramatically. I mean that in a good sense, as well as a bad sense. Uh, though the connotation would probably imply that it's more so bad than good, which is not something I see it as. I am a person, interestingly, that does not see a fight as something bad. Um, and as you can tell, probably based on this channel, I'm a martial artist, so that kind of goes hand in hand. Any rate, um, let's see. Yes, life is like a fight. Life cannot be fair sometimes. The same way a fight can't be entirely fair sometimes. Um, or that is to say, life can be unfortunate. That's what they mean when they say life isn't fair. A fight outcome can be very unfortunate sometimes, even though the odds were in your favor. Of course, anybody can drop a bomb on you from like out of nowhere. I mean, GSP got caught by like Matt Serra with like what, an overhand right or something. Nobody was expecting that, even though GSP in their rematch decidedly proved he was the better fighter. So you could say, maybe in a sense, that if fair is unfortunate, that was unfortunate, the ending to their first bout, based upon the fact that George was the superior martial artist. And this is part of what I'm going to get into. No, life isn't fair. But it's my personal belief that if you work very hard to be the absolute best version of yourself possible, and you're open and honest seeker of knowledge, that you will ultimately come out on top. If you educate yourself as much as possible, if you look for answers to things everywhere, you develop your life game. In the same way fighters who want to win at fighting develop their fight game. If you want to win at life, you have to develop your life game. You have to educate yourself on the things that can set you back from like the things that you want to achieve. You have to address holes in your game. You have to address holes in yourself, holes in your person game. That is to say, you need to address your weaknesses. Otherwise, that can very much grind your progress in life to a startling halt. You have to be, in the same way you have to be very open and honest about admitting your mistakes in martial arts, and then working on them after that, following up that recognition of what you've done incorrectly, and not take that as a strike against your pride. Oh, I'm not perfect. Oh no. Uh, yeah. That's really what you got to do. I mean, if you throw your jab too low, if your jab falls on retraction, for example, same way certain things fall out of place when you go to pursue a goal. Maybe like you lose motivation with something. You don't try and deny that that's a problem. You're just going to get caught by that same problem over and over again if you don't address it. If you figure out why, for example, maybe you lose motivation when you go to pursue a goal, then you'll be able to fix that problem and then be able to put in work to fix that problem. and you will reduce your chances of getting screwed by that problem again. I'm not saying you won't get screwed, because, like we said at the beginning, life, as well as a fight, can sometimes not seem fair. Working against things that negatively impact you only increase your chances of overcoming them. They do not guarantee your overcome of them, and they do not entitle you to overcome them, despite how hard you worked. To continue this metaphor between fighting and life, I'd also like to say that really, things like anxiety and depression won't help you. It won't get you anywhere. Anxiety is hesitation, and depression is defeat in some ways. I won't completely commit to that statement because I need to maybe explore the deeper intricacies of what that metaphor can imply, but it is a temporary form of defeat. It is a temporary form of low motivation and low energy and, very, very heightened negativity. Any case, getting back to my point, anxiety will not help you. If you can do something about something, don't worry about it. Do that thing. If you can't do something about it, don't worry about it. I saw a great meme that basically explained that logic. It was in like a nice little what do you call that? Visual chart. They call that a diorama, maybe? Diagram? Okay. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, if you can't do something about it, don't worry about it. If you can do something about it, do that and don't worry about it. I mean, anxiety is like hesitation. If you're gonna get hit by a punch, don't worry about it. You take the shot, and then just get back to your game. If you freeze up because you think you're gonna take a shot, you're gonna take more than one shot in the end. So, really, anxiety helps nobody, including you, including me. Helps nobody. Anxiety is hesitation. Anxiety is fearing that something will go negatively. Fearing that something will go negatively, yeah, is just another form of hesitation, and it doesn't really move you forward. It's just kind of a biological thing we have to prevent us from doing, like, obviously stupid things. But these days we kind of have logic rather than anxiety, which can guide us a little bit better than just things that cause us pain, like anxiety, which can prevent us from achieving goals, and among other things. Thinking for a minute. Okay, going back to the statement about life isn't fair. Yeah, we both confirmed that is very possible for life to not be fair, in the sense that it can be very unfortunate in the things that can happen to us. Now, what we have to realize is that everything is fair in the game of life. Anything can happen. In the same way, anything that's allowed to happen in a fight can happen and is fair thusly. Unless things break the laws of physics just to screw you, anything in life, anything life throws at you is fair game. So anything can happen. So again, about developing your life game. If you educate yourself about things that can hurt you, and you're honest and you pursue that, there's less of a chance that they can hurt you. If you learn what can potentially lead it to you increasing your cancer risk, like consuming a great deal of I don't know, let me be controversial here, meat, dairy, and eggs. Have a vegan moment here, say that. You're less likely to get cancer. Um, no, you're not guaranteed to be exempt from cancer. Of course not. Anything can happen. You might have the most garbage genetics on earth. You might just eat too much sugar. You might eat too much sugar, and that can be another contributing factor. There are things you might be overlooking, even if you have the knowledge that consuming a plant-based diet might enhance your lifespan, and keep you away from having cancer, because you're not consuming, how do you say, large quantities of antibiotics that they feed animals before they slaughter them so we can eat them for taste pleasure, and yeah, you won't be consuming a great deal of hormones from non-human milk, for example. Yeah, even knowing those things, you're never guaranteed out of the worst possible case scenario. Worst possible case scenario, you still die of cancer, even if you have knowledge of that nature. Life is much like a fight, a game of inches. You have a higher percent of succeeding. You have a higher percent chance of succeeding the more you educate yourself, the more you are willing to educate yourself, and you honestly pursue knowledge and address your flaws. And just work hard to address your flaws if you genuinely care about succeeding. There are really two things that can happen to you in life. Well, three. Let's go from worst to best. Number one, you die. Whoa. Yeah, you completely give up on, not to sound arrogant, but a lot of this stuff I'm saying, you give up on the pursuit of succeeding. You die. Whether that's just an intentional thing, if you're really unfortunately depressed or something of that nature, or you just happen to die, you fall off a cliff, yeah, you get hit by a tornado, you die of cancer, all that unfortunate, any of those many ways you can be guided into mortality was the word I was going to say, but whatever. Anyway, there are many ways you can die. Let's say that. Okay. Option number 2. Maybe this isn't worst to least to worst? Or worst to best. Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, maybe this isn't worst to best. Option number 2. You live in kind of a gray area where you kind of work hard to address your flaws. You're kind of interested in knowing all you possibly can so you can succeed in life. You might kind of get what you want, and you might kind of not. You're leaving it up to chance at that point. If you 50% commit to life, you have a 50% of succeeding. I mean, I don't think that's totally unfair to say, as much as that might not seem fair. Some might say everybody deserves to succeed, regardless of what they do about it. I wonder about that. I don't know. I would need to give that more thought. But yes, there's second case scenario. You kind of work hard at life. You kind of are interested in addressing your flaws. You're kind of interested in learning more. You're kind of interested in maybe pushing aside your biases and then being open to information. You might kind of succeed, you might kind of not. 50-50 chance. Okay, best case scenario. You work very hard. You increase your chances of succeeding in life up to 90%. Everything's really, really great. But yes, there is still that chance. You'll get clocked by something really random and unfortunate. Because that is that is what can happen. That is what can happen. But if you do pursue the things that you know can be best for you in life, if you commit yourself to bettering your mental health, bettering your relationships with other people, bettering yourself, genuinely caring about yourself and the issues you face and the complexes you may have, you're not afraid to address them and talk to somebody about it, you will increase your chances of succeeding by a great deal. And even if you don't succeed, this is a very large thing too. Even if you don't succeed, you can take pride in the fact that you worked very hard and that you genuinely cared in succeeding in life. I mean, it's noble. Not many people try 100% all the time. And that's not an inherently wrong thing to do. Everything's a choice. And if not giving everything makes you happy, then, I mean, that's fine. There's no shame in that. I mean, coasting is relaxing sometimes. But, I mean, if your true interest is to truly succeed in life, bettering yourself in every way possible is an absolutely great thing to do, and learning how to be grateful for the things that you have, even if you're in an unfortunate place, either mentally or physically, being grateful for the small things is a wonderful thing. Um, it's late. My brain cells are deteriorating because I need sleep. Um, but yeah, maybe that comes from a place of maybe that comes from a maybe that comes from too much of a place of power. Maybe it's just like some people will say, well, I can't really do these things. I can't really better myself because I have these problems. Um I mean, the best thing you can do is just try and work on those problems. I mean, I don't know. I mean, be the best you can be is the bottom line. There's if even if you don't succeed and you try to be the best you can be in life for yourself and for everybody, I mean, like I said, there's pride in that. Even if you fail, you get absolutely nuked by life if you even when you absolutely increase your chances of succeeding by the highest capacity. There's pride in trying. There's pride in giving life all you have, taking it for what it's worth, and doing your best to ensure that life doesn't grab you by the genitals and just cram you into the ground. There's pride in fighting back against what life can do to you, being equipped for life, being mentally ready in as many capacities as you can, so you have the skills and abilities to optimize your life. So, in conclusion, no, life is not always fair. Or maybe life is fair. Life is just not opportune all the time. Life is unfortunate sometimes. But if you genuinely care about yourself, if you genuinely care about progressing in life, and not being stuck in any kind of unfortunate situation or some kind of okay situation where you feel like you can be getting more out of life. It really starts with making a decision to improve things, to improve yourself, to improve anything. It starts with a decide to work. It starts with a decision to work to increase your percent chance of not getting screwed by life. Life will not always be fair, but you can sure as hell have a chance against it